I insulted my boyfriend after I found out his secret. My boyfriend Ben and I have been dating for almost 2 years. While our relationship is not perfect, it's pretty damn close. Our biggest disagreement was when I switched oat milk brands and he kept forgetting and bringing the other brand. We're both quite naturally calm people and prefer a constructive discussion to a heated argument. This is why what happened last week caught me off guard. Towards the beginning of our relationship, when we weren't exclusive, Ben had a fling with a co-worker, let's call her Steph. He is the head of IT at a major firm and she works in a different department, so they only see each other occasionally, even more so now that he switched to remote work 2 days a week. When he told me about their fling and I talked to my friends about it, they said I wasn't allowed to be bothered about it as our relationship wasn't defined at the time and they only slept together once. Some days I will fixate on it and wonder if he talked to Steph at work and if she still fancied him. I know I'm not allowed to monitor his interactions with anyone and would never try to control him, but it does make me feel something when I think about him even being near her. I don't know if it's jealousy or insecurity or even if it's rational. Anyway, last week we got invited to a dinner party hosted by his boss. I'd been to a couple of his office parties before but only interacted with a couple people and usually was glued to Ben's side all night since I am a bit of an introvert. From my immediate impression, Ben's boss is a bit of a rich prick, but he knew how to throw a good enough party that I began to loosen up and interact with more than 2 people all night. As a teacher, I've always felt insecure around people who make so much more money than me and always felt like they looked down on me, but that couldn't have been further from the truth. I was immediately included on the inside jokes, made a couple of my own and even got invited to a double date with one of his co-workers and his wife. While Ben was grabbing me some food, one of his friends made a passing comment about Steph. She was at the party but stayed away from the group we were hanging out with. I said I don't care about her, but I also have nothing to talk to her about, which is true. I wasn't about to go compare notes with her, and the fact that she did stay away from us did put me at ease and made me not as wary of her. His friend laughed and said, well then you might feel the same way about Molly. Molly was another co-worker of Ben's who I had actually gotten on with the whole night. I was confused and didn't understand what he was trying to say. When he saw my reaction he completely clammed up, but I demanded he explain himself. Another one of his friends from the group said that Molly and Ben slept together. To say I was shocked is an understatement. I then asked how many other girls Ben had slept with from the office and they told me they knew of 4 different girls. At that point Ben came back, unaware his friends had spilled his secrets but picked up on the tense atmosphere. Internally I was fuming and hurt, but I kept a cool facade, and when Ben asked what was wrong I just looked at him and said, your friends were just informing me that you're the office slut. He looked shocked and I left to go to the bathroom to calm down. I knew if I stayed at this party any longer I would have a breakdown and needed to leave. So I went straight to our car and drove home without telling him. When I got back home I replied to his numerous texts about where I was and told him I came home and he could find his own way back. He got home around an hour after me, and by that time I had already cried my feelings out and was ready to have a conversation. He came into the house absolutely livid, which I didn't understand because he was the one who lied to me. He's never even raised his voice at me for anything before, but he was shouting about how I embarrassed him and word had gotten around to his other co-workers because I reacted immaturely. I tried to explain my position, that how would he feel if he found out I had slept with 4 of my co-workers and never told him. He just kept reiterating that he never had a relationship with them, and I knew going into our relationship he was way more experienced than intimate, but I refused to believe he could sleep with these women and not feel anything for them. But that is beside the point and he should have told me. But all he is hung up on is that I insulted him to his friends. When he was done yelling he said he was going to stay at his brother's house to calm down and not to contact him until he cooled down. I told him I wouldn't contact him first because I'm not in the wrong, he is. It's been a week since he's been at his brother's house and we still haven't talked. I have no clue where we go from here. Was I wrong to react the way I did? I didn't think I was, but now I'm second guessing myself. I didn't think calling him the office slut would elicit this reaction, but I don't think it was a lie either. Should I apologize or wait for him to make the first move? My issue is not so much with him sleeping with the other women but hiding it. Update: I just want to say thanks for everyone's response. I can't reply to them all, but I have read what everyone has written and just need to clarify a few things. We had discussed previous partners, but he omitted ons as he didn't consider them partners and only told me about girlfriends he had. Ben is my first boyfriend and I had only ever slept with one guy before, but that man wasn't my boyfriend either, but I still disclosed it. There is some speculation I went through his phone and badger him about Steph. That is not true at all. I knew my issues with Steph were my own and never made him answer for them. Even when he told me I was slightly upset, but again it was something we discussed and I got advice from my friends about we moved forward from. I did not yell out the comment I made, it was only in front of Ben and 2 of his work friends. I did not ask his friends who the other 2 girls were, as I thought that should come from Ben. I don't know when the encounters with the other 3 girls happened. I am aware my comment was wrong and I am fully ready to apologize for that and for leaving his stranded. He had to get a lift from his brother. In my post I wrote our car. That's not true, I just think of it that way because I use it more, but it's actually his car. I made a typo in the title. I'm 25 and Ben is 28. Anyway, an actual update. I texted him this morning saying, hey, I know you asked me not to contact you first, but I've given you a week and really feel like we need to have a conversation. I hope you've been doing okay. I didn't want to start apologizing or questioning him over text. I did that about 6:30 before I left for work and was teaching all day, so I knew I wouldn't be able to constantly check my phone. It's lunchtime right now and he's responded saying he's at work, which is confusing because Friday and Monday are his remote work days, so I don't understand why he's gone in. I texted back and said we can talk after work if he wanted to come home, and he agreed. I honestly have no clue how tonight is going to go. I really don't want to break up. I know a lot of you are gonna say I don't have a backbone for messaging him first, but I haven't been able to eat or sleep all week and this been so mentally and physically exhausting. My workload this week has been crushing and this added stress has made me reach my limit. Comment. This. Me and my best friend slept with each other a couple of times years ago. We always let our new partners know so that they aren't blindsided by a shit stirrer at group outings. It's always better to tell someone the truth than for them to find out some other way. Real quick way to break trust. I'm not currently in a relationship but have been while still being friends with him, yes. I'm always honest about it from the get-go. If someone has a problem with our friendship, I tell them we aren't compatible and move on. I'm not going to throw an almost decade-long friendship away and the friend group that we're both in for someone I just met and who things might not even work out with. That would be silly. However, by being honest about it, most people I've dated haven't had any issue with it. We have boundaries since then that we have put in place to prevent our future partners from being uncomfortable. It's called being an adult. LOL. 4 is a lot of co-workers to sleep with. And clearly it's not a secret since they were gossiping about him. It was his work event, someone was out to cause drama, and he could have avoided that. I wouldn't be so generous with them. They were shit stirrers that love to see the world burn. Once she indicated that she still had issues with the first girl, they decided to fan the flames. That's probably why he's so pissed with Up. The fact that he didn't give her a heads up before taking her made him look bad. But that's on him, not you, Up. Your reaction was reasonable given the circumstances. If he doesn't apologize for putting you in that position and promise to do better, then please dump him. You'll get over the heartbreak, but being with somebody who treats you badly will just keep getting worse. The way he responded? It's not normal. He took no responsibility for putting you in that environment. That is a lot of co-workers to have intimate with and not tell you. For him not to understand and blame you is pretty telling of a possible narcissist. I know you said it's been so good, but people just don't respond like this. He can't acknowledge your pain at the way you found out. His embarrassment means more than your embarrassment and pain. I'm sorry this happened to you. It really was a horrible experience for you, I'm sure. Up. The other employees gave you a huge gift. The gift of truth. They exposed who your husband really is. 2 things. He has done this before, you're just finding out now. His attitude is one of arrogance and he is projecting to you as if he was the victim here. He came home storming and yelling at you for embarrassing him. How dare you be angry at me for sleeping with other women? WTF. He is more worried about himself and his ego than the fact that he cheated on you for other women. He has no care about your feelings at all, which means no remorse, no I'm sorry, I love you. Second, he hasn't called and talked to you at all. There's probably a shot storm going on at work. If other employees were so quick to put him, this was probably planned. He may have even lost his job. I hope you are doing better. It's probably best he's not home. Story 2. My girlfriend has a reciprocated crush on a friend/co-worker. If anyone from my life reads this plus recognizes this, just let me vent. We all work together. We're all part of the same friend group. This friend group always playfully flirts each other. I never really do, but my GF always does, and my GF plus this coworker went out for drinks a couple times and have had really deep chats. My GF really likes this person, thinks they're very interesting etc. I'm also friends W this person, I study W her and have drank W her before. 2 weeks ago the coworker confessed to her. I know my GF has always found this person attractive. GF came home from work TN and confessed everything sobbing. Chronological order. Married one confesses 2 weeks ago. We have a girls' night and married one is super drunk and touchy and passes out on the couch. Apparently, they talk about having crushes on each other while I'm literally asleep in bed the next morning. Met earlier this week to talk about what they wanted to do. The married coworker asked her husband for a fucking open relationship. My GF says that there was no chance of that for us. Which I'm hoping is the truth. The married one tries to kiss my girlfriend after walking her home. Apparently it was just a weird leaning in moment. And was it mutual? I don't know. But holy fuck. And this is after agreeing that nothing would happen between them. The married one joins me to study, and acts totally normal. I still don't know at this point. They were texting all week trying to figure out the best time to tell me and decided that today was the goddamn day. 2.5 weeks after the initial confession. Because neither of us worked the following day. I feel so absolutely sick over this and I don't know who to vent to or what to do. My girlfriend literally still has a crush on her. I'm so heartbroken. How could she keep a secret like that from me for over 2 weeks? We tell each other everything. I think she's my soulmate. We had a near perfect relationship before this and I'm just absolutely sobbing. She says that in a perfect world, she'd keep her as a friend and keep me as a girlfriend since they were so close. I said absolutely not, please don't hang out with this person outside of a work context anymore, I'm not comfortable with that. She agreed. She's so remorseful and sad for hurting me and she cried for hours. She has been acting a little off the past few weeks but she had said it was just career stuff and existential dread and such. She says she has cried every day that I go to work and has thrown up over it. I do believe that since my GF is very anxious. I know crushes are pretty normal but acting on them is not. Why did she flirt W someone she was genuinely attracted to? That is no longer appropriate. Not telling me for 2.5 weeks is not normal. I'm so betrayed. I can't believe that it's even possible to have a crush on someone else and claim that you still love another person. It's just never happened to me before. Also, this person was my friend. What the fuck? I just feel like vomiting over it. It's like 3:30 a.m. and I don't know how to navigate my relationship past this point. Like yeah, nothing happened but like. She still lied. I feel like emotionally, she cheated on me for those few weeks.